Hey, it's Ryan. Let me show you how to add some drums and a backbeat to your chords so that way you can make songs like this sound a little bit more authentic and bring a little bit more low end into your guitar playing. So the basic idea is that we are taking the chords that we're using and that nothing about those are going to change at all. We still want to use the same chords as before, the D minor, E minor 7, and the F major 7. Now what we're doing is all with the strumming hand. And what we're going to do is add in a kick and a snare to it. So now it sounds like this. So when listening to the recording, I hear a kick that goes like this. And if it's not doing exactly that, that to me feels good to add to the song. That feels like a good kick pattern. And then I hear the snare happening on 2 and 4. So do, 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 do. So the tricky part is, well, all of it put together, basically. And so we're going to practice that together, one thing at a time. But first, let me show you how to do this stuff. So to do the kick, I'm taking my wrist and I'm placing it on the body of my guitar like this. Anytime you do any sort of percussive element with your guitar, don't do it where you hurt the guitar or hurt yourself. You know, it doesn't have to be super hard. Just like a light tap with your wrist will be good. And to do the snare, what you're going to do is take this part of your joint right here, and you're going to stick it to around the low E string or the A string like this. You don't want to stick it too hard or you get this sound. So we just want to lightly stick it. You can see that my hand kind of tilts and my wrist twists to let it stick there. So the idea now is we're going to do this. So try this with me. One more time. So now that we got the drums down and how to do it, let's do it with the strum pattern itself and how we're going to do that. So what we do is we're still doing mostly all down strums except for like in these little areas right here where there's these little up strums. And again, once you get to this part, you can make up whatever strum pattern you want as long as it feels good. But what we're going to do is go. So now let me show you that in slow motion. So we have, and that's our first move, is we're doing kick and snare at the same time, or kick and strum at the same time. So I'm strumming with, in this case, my middle finger. You can also do like a ukulele strum where you're using your pointer finger. So let's just try just doing the kick and the strum at the same time like this. Go ahead and join me. And don't feel like you have to strum across all of the strings. Okay, so now that we've done that, now let's try doing 2 in a row like this. Again. And it's okay if your chords don't sound like pristine clean or super perfect. We are adding drums to our guitar playing for maybe the first time. So now that we've done that, let's try adding in the strum and the snare at the same time. So now we have this. And so the way that you do the snare and the strum is you slap the thumb as before, and the other fingers, or in this case, my middle finger, will fan out like this. So just try this with me first. And if your thumb mutes that A string, that's okay. So now let's try that pattern like this. Here we go. With the chord. Again. Again. Let's keep going. One more time. Very good. Now we're almost done. So now let's try adding in this part right here. So it's going to look like this. So the way that I do this down up right here is, and I should have gone to that E minor chord there, but I do the down strum with my middle finger, and then I do the up strum with my thumb. So that way my nails are always in contact with the strings, giving me a nice bright and clear sound. If you're doing this ukulele style, then you can go down up like that. But I find that in this particular example, it's easier for me to use my fingers with this rather than doing the ukulele strum. So let's try practicing all of this together and see if we can kind of just loop it. And we're not going to move to the E minor 7. We're just going to stay on the D minor 7. So maybe something like this. Go ahead and join me. Kick, kick, snare, down, up, kick, kick, snare. Keep going. Last time. So that's the first half. And then when we get to this part right here, we're doing the same kick pattern. We're just not adding in these like down and up strums right here. Instead, it's a down strum to the F major 7. So let's try just practicing this bar very slowly, and let's do a count in every time before we try it again. So at the same speed. 1, 2, ready, go. One, two, ready, go. Snare, down, up, kick, kick, snare, down. 1, 2, ready, go. Kick, kick, snare, down, up, kick, kick, snare. 1, 2, one last time. And so then what we do is, as at least in this particular example, is I have a pause right here. It's going to sound like this. And this is kind of the hardest part of all of it. So I have a little kick in the gaps. I come back in on this snare right here. And then, to be honest, I'm not fully cognizant of everything that's happening in my brain at this moment. But it looks something like this. So what I'm doing there is I'm doing a combination of down and up strums as I am doing the kick and the snare pattern. And I don't know how my thumb does it where it's distinguishing between the down and ups and adding the snares. I can try slowing it down a little bit more. So take that with a grain of salt. I would recommend that you just come up with your own strum pattern that feels good to you on this part, and just see if you can try to keep the doom, doom, ch, doom, doom, ch, doom, doom, ch consistent. It doesn't have to be my strum pattern. Just do whatever works best for you. So anyway, this is our tutorial on the jazz chords with the drums, and now I'll see you in the practice video.